The next world religion which comes for our understanding and consideration is Jainam or Jainism. So, I will come to the origin of Jainism from a Hindu text. The essence, the quintessence of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana, which comprises of 12 cantos, kandas, and close to 18,000 shlokas, has been put together by a great poet cum devotee called Narayana Bhattadri in Kerala through his magnum opus work called as Sriman Narayaniyam. In Sriman Narayaniyam, he mentions of the essence of Bhagavata Mahapuranam. While dealing with Swayambhuva Manu's children like Uttanapada, Devahuti and so on, he deals with his son, that is Swayambhuva Manu's son called Priyavrata. So he says, in Priyavrata's clan, who all came, Priyavratasya Priyaputra Bhuta Agnindra Rajat Uditaha Hinabihi Tvam Drishtavan Ishtadam Ishti Madhye Tavayeva Tushtyai Krita Yajna Karma. Of Priyavratasya Priyaputra Bhutat Agnidhra Rajat. Then from him came Agnidhara, and from him came a Raja called Nabhi, Uditaha hi Nabhihi. And there, this Nabhi was performing a grand sacrifice with utmost sincerity towards you. When he says you, he mentions towards Krishna, the Lord of Guruvayur. He continues, Abhishtutas tatra munishwaraistvam Rajñasvatulyam sutam arthyamanaha Swayam janishye ahamiti bruvanaha Tirodhada barhishi vishvamurte. Abhishtutaha tatra, being praised in the yajna. O Lord, you are being praised in the yajna. Munishwaraihi tvam, by the great sages, Munihi, who had gathered there. Rajnyaha svatulyam sutam, for this yajna was being performed so that they beget children, so that they have a son, a child like you. And Swayam janishye aham, you had promised that you shall be born. Tirodadha barihishi, and then you disappeared from that particular Yajnavatika. Vishwamurte, the one who has pervaded this entire universe, says Narayana Bhattadri. He goes on. Nabhiv priyayam athameru devyam tvam amshataha abhuhu rishabha abhidhanaha aloka samanya guna prabhava prabhavita asesha janaf pramodaha. To Nabhi's wife called Meru Devi, tvam amshataha abhuhu, your partial incarnation. Amshavataram was born. Rishabha abhidhanaha, this child who was born as a result of your partial incarnation was called Rishabha or Rishabhadeva. He was endowed with very, very sublime, very, very soft qualities. He continues further. Tvayi triloki bhriti rajya bharam nidhaya nabihi sahameru devya tapovanam prapya bhavan nishevi gatakilananda padam padam te tvayi triloki bhriti. O Lord, who is ruling the entire three worlds, Narayana Bhattadri addresses Krishna. Rajyabharam nidhaya, thereby to transfer the responsibility of governance, administration. Nabhihi saha meru devya. What you did was, along with Nabhi, the king, and his wife Meru Devya, Tapovanam Prapya, they reached the forest. Whom did they give the responsibility to? To you, who is now the partial incarnation called Rishabhadeva. Bhavat Nishevi, and by worshipping you, the couple, that is Nabhi and Meru Devi, Gataha kila Ananda Padam Padam te, they reached your Vaikuntham. What happened to Rishabhadeva now? The parents have gone to Vaikuntham. What has happened to Rishabhadeva? Indratvat utkarsha krita tamarshat vabarshanasmin ajana bhavarshe Yada tadatvam nijayoga shaktya swavarsham yenat vyadadhasu varsham indrahatvat utkarsha kritat. Indra, who was very, very happy by the achievements, Amarshat, out of jealousy, Vavarshana Asmin, did not shower rain on this. Okay, he was very, very jealous to see Rishabhadeva ruling so well. He did not do his duty of showering rain. Ajanabhavarshe, that particular region called Ajanabhavarsham, Yada Tadatvam, thereby understanding Indra's acts, O Lord, who is now Rishabhadeva, Nijayoga Shaktya, by your Yoga Shakti, Swa Varsham Yenat Vyadadhaha Suvarsham, with your yogic power itself, you brought heavy, abundant rainfall to your Ajanabha Varsham, to your region. Who did all this? The Lord in his incarnation, Amshavataram, partial incarnation, as Rishabhadeva. This is not Purnavataram like Rāmāvataram or Krishnavataram. This is Apurnavataram like Kartavirya Arjuna and so on. Jitendra Dattam Kamanim Jayanti Matodvahannatmarashat Ashayaha Api Ajijanat Tatra Shatam Tanujan Yesham Kshitishaha Bharataha Agrajanma. Thereby Indra now, who faced a defeat in his face because of the yogic power of Rishabhadeva, gave his beautiful daughter called as Jayanti to Rishabhadeva, and thereby she got through Rishabhadeva 100 sons, and amongst them Bharata was the eldest. Now what happened to Rishabhadeva after getting children? Uktva sutebhya atamunindra madhye virakti bhakti anvita mukti margam swayam gataf paramahamsya vrittim adha jada unmata pishacha charyam. Instructing his sons, Munindra Madhye, amidst the sages, Virakti Bhakti Anvita, and comprising of Bhakti and Virakti, devotion and renunciation, Mukti Margam, he wanted to seek the path of liberation, Swayam Gataha, Paramahamsya Vrittim, like a Paramahamsa, like a sage, he left the kingdom, Adhaha Jada Unmata Pishachacharyam, and started behaving like a lunatic. Because he was detached, he was ridiculing the existence of human beings on this earth. So Rishabhadeva went away this way. Paratma bhutopi paropadesham kurvan bhavan sarva nirasyamanaha vikarahino vichachara kritsnyam mahimahina atmarasa abhilinaha paratma bhutaha api, the one who was filled with the knowledge about Paramatma, para upadesham kurvan, thereby giving teachings, instructions to others, bhavan sarva nirasyamanaha, but because he was giving too much of advice and jnanam, others ridiculed him. Vikarahinaha, but he was free of attachment. Vichachara, thereby thinking about the existence of human beings, their strange behavior. Now Rishabhadeva, Kritsna Mahim, he went all over the earth. Ahina Atmarasa Abhilinaha, thereby engaged in the qualities of Paramatma. What happened to him? He was wandering in the forest, right? Shayuvratam go mrigaka kacharyam chiram charan apya param swarupam Davahrita angaha kutaka chaletvam tapan mama apakuruvatanatha Shayuvratam. Thereby the Atma left his shariram. It didn't attain moksham. Then he lived for a few years as a python in the forest, snake. Go, as a cow. For a few other life, in the next life as a mriga, as a deer. Kakacharyam, in the form of a crow. Chiram charan apya param swarupam, in whichever form he was, he carried that bhakti yogam further by thinking about Paramatma. Davahrita angaha, thereby one day in living in one of these lives, with the entire body, he got perished in the forest fire. Where was that forest fire? Kutakachaletvam. Kutakachalam is Kodagu, which is the current Coorg in Karnataka. Tapan mama apakuru, thereby you destroy my ailments too, O Lord of Guruvayur. So there is a mention of a king called as Rishabhadeva, who then later became an ascetic and turned into various forms like that of a cow, a python, a crow, a deer, and thereby perished his life in the forest. So this Rishabhadeva largely is believed to be the first Tirthankara of Jainam. And in those list of Tirthankaras comes lastly Mahavira or Arihanta. So in Jainism, there is a belief of the good omens that are seen in a dream. So I will mention about those aspects that can be seen in a dream. Not all 16 have to appear, not all 14 have to appear. There are certain. Airavata, the white-tusked elephant. Then Vrishabha, that of a great religious teacher. Next Simha, the lion that denotes fearlessness. That lion could be seen in a dream. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. Phoolmala, which is a beautiful flower garland that talks about respect and prosperity. Moon, who's Chandra, who is a sign of purity. Surya, who is a personification of supreme knowledge. Dhwaja, which is the flag, which is the sign of leadership. Purna Kalasha, filled pot, which denotes Purnatvam in terms of virtues, values or gunas. Padma Sarovara, that which deals with lotus, that talks about detached attachment because of the droplets of water that don't stick to the leaf of a lotus. Ratnakara, Bhandaram full of gems, that talks about infinite prosperity. Simhasana, where it talks about the throne and thereby the ascent to that particular position. Ratnadhaga, that again talks about wisdom. And Nirdhumragni, smokeless fire, that talks about the sustenance of religious thought processes and knowledge. So when all these chinhams, signs, are seen together by the carrying mother in her dream, then it means a Tirthankara will be born. So there are so many such Tirthankaras, 24 great teachers called Tirthankaras. So it is said that it came into prominence as a religion, it came into prominence around the 6th century BCE. And the religion begins with the Tirthankaras beginning from Rishabha, who is largely opined to be the Rishabhadeva mentioned in Bhagavata Mahapuranam. And the word Jaina is derived from the root word Jina, which means the one who has conquered. So it is said that the rise of this religion was because the rituals and the rites and the belief system in Sanatana Dharma were very rigid. The Varnashrama Dharma system was not equal to all in their belief. So it is said that Jainism rose to prominence because of all these flaws of Sanatana Dharma. Now, unlike Buddhism, which doesn't recognize the presence of Ishvara, Jainism largely is a Nastika religion, but it believes that the one who has propagated knowledge, such as Mahavira, Arihanta, is the one who needs to be venerated. So it believes the presence of God in the form of a Tirthankara, if not in the form of God himself. So thereby there is a slight belief with respect to the transmigration of the Jivatma, thereby a little bit of the karma system as well, though they wouldn't believe, because if they believe in all of this, then Sanatana Dharma and Jainism will be one and the same. So there is a disbelief and a belief in parts. So there is a Vadam which they say called as Prakshiptam. So they say that we will fall into your circuit of Sanatana Dharma if these statements of Vedas are rejected. We will accept statement number 1, statement number 7, statement number 8 of this mandala, statement mantra number 12 and 13 of this particular kanda. The others we will not accept, which is not acceptable, which was not acceptable to Adi Shankara, Ramanuja and Madhva. They said if you have to accept Vedam, you have to accept it in totality. Their contention was, I love my mother, I don't like her left hand, I like her right hand only. I like her face, but I don't like her thighs. So if you distinguish your mother this way, how can you take her in parts? You have to accept Veda in entirety. So your Prakshipta Vadam will not work, was their contention. So going further into Jainam, they have two large concepts in their philosophy, which is Anekantavada, the theory of plurality, and Syadvada, the Syadvada has come into a lot of criticism by Ramanuja and later Vedanta Deshika. I will just tell what that Syadvadam is. Syad, there is, it is a possibility. Syad is a term denoting possibility. There could be, there could not be. So this is called Saptabhangi. Syad asti, some say there is. Syad nasti, some say there is not. Syad asti cha nasti cha, some say there is, some say there is not. Syad avaktavyam, some say there is a possibility. Syad asti cha avaktavyam, syad nasti cha avaktavyam, some say there is a possibility, some say there is no possibility. Syad asti cha nasti cha avaktavyam cha, this is the seventh one. Syad asti, syad nasti, syad asti cha nasti cha, syad avaktavyam, syad asti cha avaktavyam, syad nasti cha avaktavyam, syad asti cha nasti cha avaktavyam cha. So this is called Sapta Bhangi. So here is Syadvadam. So this is a proposition based on possibility. Now besides the philosophy, there are certain tenets. It believes that for attaining liberation in their understanding of mukti, there is no ritual required. So they practice Triratnam, three jewels of Jainam, which is right faith. Samyak darshanam, have the right faith, that is the first jewel. Right knowledge, samyak jnanam, the knowledge associated with that particular system. Right action, samyak charita, your action should be in concurrence with the knowledge and the faith that you have. So this is called Triratnam. And there are 5 doctrines to Jainam. First is Ahimsa. Ahimsa is so important that a lot of the Jain monks would always sport a white cloth. They may not even brush their teeth. So they say that brushing teeth will remove so many germs, kill so many germs. Why should I brush teeth? And then they will cover their mouth with a white cloth so that germs don't get inside them. Then inadvertently you may have to cause death and consume them. Then coming to Ahimsa, they also talk about fruits and vegetables that grow below the ground end up killing so many germs. So they should also not be consumed. So Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha is very, very stringently practiced. Next is Satya. Satyatvam, speaking the truth. Asteyam, not stealing. Aparigraham, not taking anything by acquiring by force. Brahmacharyam, observing abstinence from sexual relations. Brahmacharyam. So these are the 5 doctrines of Jainam. Now Mahavira, who is regarded as the 24th great teacher, conqueror called Tirthankara, was born around the 540 BCE in a village called Kundagrama near Vaishali. He belonged to the Nyatrika clan and was associated with Bihar's Magadha dynasty's family clan, royal clan. His father was Siddhartha and his mother was Trishala. At the age of 30, Mahavira left his family and became an ascetic. He practiced tapasya for 12 years and attained the highest form of knowledge believed in Jainism called Kaivalyam, and he delivered his first sermon at Pava. And it is said that this mission of spreading Jainism thoughts took him to various places called Koshala, Magadha, Mithila and Champa. And it is said that around 468 BCE, he passed away, he died at Pavapuri in Bihar. Now, his followers in the group, while they lived in Magadha, they had to face a severe famine. So, to get rid of it and to sustain their life, a group of people went further south. So, people who went further south practiced the tenets of Jainam as taught by Mahavira for a very long time. So they were people who did not wear any clothes. They believed that the directions and the entire world was their clothes, though they did not wear clothes. And they believed that nudity, serving oneself body nude, be it male monks, and females were not given monkhood in that particular sect. They could practice asceticism, but they could not become monks. And they practiced all five vows of Jainam, which is Satyam, Asteyam, Aparigraham, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, and so on. So they lived in the south of India. And after a considerable period, they went back to join their counterparts from where they had left. That group had diluted the practices. So they had Satyam, they had Ahimsa, Asteyam, Aparigraham, but not Brahmacharya. They started leading lives of Grihastha as well. And they started sporting white clothes. So they started sporting Shweta clothes. So that sect was called Shvetambara, and those who did not, who were nude, were called Digambaras. So the spread of Jainism then started happening in the west of India and the south of India. And then, while it spread largely in the south of India, during the times of Adi Shankara and later strongly during the times of Rāmānuja, it diminished further when they were all defeated in debates. The famous Tondanur debate, where 12,000 Jainas were defeated by one Rāmānuja single-handedly, shows that they had to return back to Sanatana Dharma. So these are some of the instances that history records. They were patronized by many kings, let's say even the king of Kalinga, Chandragupta Maurya, who promoted Jainism. Vishnuvardhana, until he came back to Vaishnavism, he too promoted Jainam. So now you will see a clip of the great Bahubali, one of the followers and monks in Jainam, being Mastaka Abhisheka. From his head is given one Abhisheka, which is done in more than once in a decade. So it is not a regular activity. It is very integral to the Hoysala architecture as well. It comes under Shravana Belagula in Karnataka in the south. Now coming to another world religion, which is Sikhism. Sikhism was developed by the great teachings of the spiritual guru called as Guru Nanak, who lived between 1469 and 1539. And subsequently his teachings were further carried to the people of the Punjab region. Panchanadi Pradesham. Panchanadi Pradesham means that Desham, that province which has got 5 rivers, Ravi, Satluj, Beas and so on. So in the Panchanadi Pradesham, Punjab, which we all know today, which lies between 2 countries. We have got a part of Punjab in Bhāratadesham in India as well as in Pakistan. So subsequently 9 Sikh gurus carried the teachings of Guru Nanak further, and this culminated with another great guru in that particular lineage called as Gobind Singh. Govind becomes Gobind when Bakaram becomes Bakaram. So Gobind Singh, he is often referred to as Guru Gobind Singh. What started with Guru Nanak Dev ended with Guru Gobind Singh. So this was the illustrious lineage of the preceptors who carried forth the teachings of Guru Nanak. Further, Guru Nanak, after Guru Gobind Singh professed that from now on there won't be continuation of your gurus, because I declare the compendium of the teachings of Guru Nanak and further as Guru Granth Sahib. This Grantham contains all the teachings of the gurus that we have learned till now, and from now on Guru Granth Sahib will be your guru. So in most Gurudwaras there is no idol. It is Guru Granth Sahib, the scripture which is placed and treated as the guru. Largely these are the tenets of a Sikhism following Sikh. There is one formless being. They believe that there is no form to God. Nirvikaram. There is no Rupam to God. They call him Rab in general. Then there are 10 gurus from Guru Nanak Sahib to Guru Gobind Sahib, and Guru Granth Sahib is the last guru, and this will be the guru for eternity. And the only teachings that a Sikh has to learn and profess and practice is only the utterances in the Guru Granth Sahib. So to understand the tenets of the basics of Sikhism, there is a Moola Mantra, and the Moola Mantra goes like this: Ik Onkar. There is only one Omkara Swarupam, there is only one supreme being. Satnamu, that is the existing true reality. Karata Purakh, so Karta, he is the Karta, in Sanskritam becomes Karata, who is the creator. Purakhu Nirbhav, so he is without any fear, he causes fearlessness. And then Akal Murat, so he is devoid of any death, which means he is immortal. And then there is no enmity that anyone can pose to him. Ajuni Saibanu Guru Prasad. So this talks about, this is the eternal blessing that one gets because of his self-existence, that one who is self-existent. So this is called Moola Mantra. Now later, to bring about some rituals and stringent practices into the religion, there are 5 kakarams in Sikhism. Ka is a letter, kakaram is the sound. So there are 5 kakars which is called Panj Kakar in Punjabi, and Guru Gobind Singh professed that his followers must adhere to this. In 1699, the Khalsa Sikhs profess this further amongst the followers. They are Kesh. So the hair for the man must remain uncut. So that is why you may see a lot of the Sikh friends sporting turbans right from the childhood. The boy is never allowed to cut hair, and that becomes the collection of hair, that kesh is tied up together. Next is Kanga, that is the wooden comb that is given to comb that particular hair. Kara, which we call Kada in most of the other languages, has to deal with the iron bracelet that the men sport. Kachera, that again deals with the undergarment that the Punjabi men, Sikh men, are supposed to wear, generally to be non-elastic in nature, a white piece of cloth. Next, kirpan. Again, it deals with a small piece of the knife or the sword. Some sport the large sword, some sport the small knife along with its kabad in their hip. So these are the panchakakarams that should be associated with a true Sikh, is what that religion states. While compiling the teachings of Guru Nanak and the further gurus till Gobind Singh, there are teachings that have been received from the Hindu religion as well. For example, Ramananda's teachings come into Guru Granth Sahib. Namdev's teachings come into Guru Granth Sahib. Pipa, Rabidas, Beni, Bikhan, Dhanna, Jayadev. Jayadeva's Ashtapadi's lines are also used. Paramanand, Sadhana, Sen, Sur, Trulochan. And some teachings of the Islam professing Sufis as well. Like example, Farid, his teachings come into Guru Granth Sahib. And again, Kabir's Dohas and his teachings also form an integral part to Guru Granth Sahib. So Guru Granth Sahib becomes a compendium of the teachings of Guru Nanak to Guru Gobind Singh, as well as some good thoughts borrowed from other religions. Now, you will get to see a clip of the Golden Temple of Amritsar, which is largely revered by the Sikh community across the globe. Of course, the recent talk about Gurudwara is the Kartarpur Sahib, which is the place associated with Guru Nanak and later Guru Gobind Singh, which is across the border in Pakistan. So you will see a clip now.